Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Waterway Technologies channel, advancing global irrigation and water systems. Joining us today, we have the pleasure of Tal, the Chief Agronomist, and John, the Chief Executive Officer of the Canadian markets in their business. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Such a pleasure. So what I want to do is kind of first and foremost understand how you guys fit within the company. So maybe we'll kick it off to Tal first and foremost. What's your involvement with Waterways?
Yeah, so I grew up as a farmer in my farm in Israel. Got to know all the agriculture, irrigation, cultivation systems around, all the manufacture in Israel. Then I go to university studying agriculture, soil and water science, and start to work for Irrigation WWT in Israel 6 years ago. I became the chief agronomist. My experience is in vegetable cultivation, irrigation and control systems, open field and greenhouses. In Israel, we made a lot of work with our climate and irrigation control system, especially for high value crops market, as medical cannabis, berries, microgreens, spices, etc. All over the world, I'm escorting and guiding our projects in Uzbekistan, Ethiopia, Canada, Peru, Chile, China, providing irrigation plan, fertigation plan, machinery, seasonal plan, all the professional and technical issues that our clients need for making efficient and productive operation. In the last 3 years, since we became public, I'm also responsible for provide more knowledge for the Canadian subsidiaries that John is running, HGWWT, which doing a really, really great job with the innovative agriculture system they are selling. And I should develop all the irrigation side, characterizing and defining the right cultivation and irrigation system for different clients in North America. And hopefully we will get more and more projects with more and more satisfied clients that will improve their irrigation operation.
Yeah. I want to pivot to John in a second here, because I feel like this question will be more pivoted toward John and his history here in the Canadian markets. But coming to you, Tal, just from the global standpoint of the weather volatility and just kind of how this sector is playing out, are you seeing like way more demand, or how do you feel about this market? And are people actually, like a lot of the farmers, are they really relying on irrigation at this point? And just kind of how are you seeing the sector evolve?
From the global point of view, as you said, we can see the weather is changing. It's becoming more and more unpredicted. So farmers that rely on nature resource becoming less and less productive. They cannot ensure they have enough yield in a good quality. Too much rain, too less rain, dry season, long winters. It's all becoming very, very extreme. And we can see the shifts in the weather from a year to year. It's much more hard to predict than it used to be. So in most places in the world where they don't have irrigation, like Canada and some other countries, we can see more and more farmers going into the irrigation to make sure they have enough water, the right climate, or whatever cultivation system they need in order to operate stable and steady all year long, year after year, in a consistent way. I can say that from our point of view, in a local point of view in Israel, where we always rely on irrigation systems, we have a very big advantage because we already know all the inputs that you need to know to make efficient operation. Not to use too much water, to increase yields, to increase quality of product, by the ways that we know how to use the system right, and how to make it efficient as it can be, so the farmer wouldn't need to invest so much money in cultivation system, but to maintain his current operation go and working.
I really appreciate those insights, Tal, and I want to pass it off to John here. First and foremost, John, what's kind of your history within Waterways, and then maybe we'll talk a little bit about the Canadian markets.
Perfect. So I had a irrigation company, and I've been doing this for about 25 years now. And I sold my company to Waterways Technology a few years ago, so we could combine our resources to provide farmers with a better opportunity to take advantage of the resources around us. So part of that would be the irrigation and the drip irrigation opportunities that are here. So first of all, water is a precious resource. And what we've been doing with Waterways Technologies is we've been bringing in things that Tal's been talking about, like water control systems and how to water more efficiently to get the best bang for our buck by working with Mother Nature and her temperament on the climate. So when we work together with the farmers and with Waterways Technologies, we're going to get a higher production per acre. And that's what we're going for, more pounds of produce or whatever per acre. And not only doing that, but doing that in an efficient way where we're going to save money for the farmer. We're going to use our resources the best we can. And we're going to provide a good, safe food for everybody. That's what we're doing. And when we combine the environment, working with the environment, with the water, economics, food production, we combine that all together and put it in a package. That's what we're here to do. And that's what we're doing. And we got the resources behind us, the ability to design, the ability to put in, incorporate. And so we got the package for the Canadian market. And you can see that in some of the projects that we do.
Yeah, and speaking about projects, in recent news, you received another irrigation system order that was totaling like 500,000. Can you just talk about what you're seeing for the demand here in Canada and exactly maybe a little bit related to this contract as well?
So yeah, so we're working with an orchard and a nursery. So what they're doing is they're putting together a high density orchard. And what we're doing there is we're getting more trees per acre. But in order to do that, you have to make sure that the trees get enough water to support themselves and the crop that they're going to produce. So that's going to be in phases. The first phase is already done, and that'll take up the majority of the $500,000. And the potential of the upcoming expansion of the orchard is going to at least double that. And that'll be in the next year or so. We're also doing similar projects into the tomato market, into the pepper market, zucchinis, cucumbers. So we're sort of helping the farmers in that regard too. And those markets are also growing for us, not only in Ontario, but across Canada.
I appreciate those insights, John. On that note, Tal, John, I appreciate you guys coming out. Thanks for these insights, giving us a bit of your background, kind of giving us some insights into the global irrigation system economy here. But thanks so much for coming out.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for having us.
Always a pleasure. On that note, I want to pass the question off to you guys. I would love to know what everyone thinks in that comment section below. Consider subscribing because as news comes down the wire, we'll of course continue to update you here. But in light of this, stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.